On the crisp morning of April 1st, 2025, the RAF Museum in London stood as a proud shrine to a century of air power. Its sprawling hangars bathed in the pale light of a spring dawn, the air sharp with the scent of polished metal and freshly cut grass. The museum, nestled in the capital's northern suburbs, was a living archive, its grounds adorned with iconic aircraft Spitfires, Hurricanes, Lancasters, their sleek fuselages gleaming under the sun, their propellers still, yet whispering tales of valor. The distant hum of London's traffic faded against the stirring notes of an RAF march, its brass and drums echoing across the tarmac, heralding the Royal Air Force's centenary celebration. The museum's forecourt, lined with RAF ensigns and poppy wreaths, buzzed with thousands airmen in dress blues, veterans with medals glinting, families waving miniature flags, and enthusiasts sketching aircraft in notebooks. At the entrance, George Harrow, an 85-year-old RAF veteran, shuffled forward, his faded service cap tilted, its badge worn but proud, a wreath of poppies in his trembling hands. Young museum staff, mistaking his weathered appearance for insignificance, mocked his cap, their laughter a discordant note in the day's reverence. But a cadet's quiet resolve and a call from RAF command unveiled a hero's past, transforming jeers into salutes and igniting a legacy that soared beyond the hangars. For those who've been underestimated yet persevered, revered the silent courage of veterans, or been moved by a truth that silenced scorn, this story of George's dignity, a young cadet's honor, and a community's awakening will lift your spirit. Join us in celebrating these moments of valor by subscribing for more tales that uncover the courage hidden in quiet wings. Comment, honor him below, to stand with George and salute his enduring legacy. George Harrow, 85, was a man of unyielding resolve. His slight frame and gnarled hands bearing the weight of a life in the skies, his grey eyes distant yet piercing, reflecting a youth spent defying death. Born in 1940 in a terraced house in Duxford, Cambridgeshire, George grew up amidst the roar of Spitfires training overhead, his childhood shaped by his uncle, a great war pilot, whose tales of dogfights over the Somme ignited a boy's dream of flight. At 16, he joined the RAF as an apprentice, his aptitude landing him in pilot training by 18, just as the Battle of Britain erupted. Assigned to 303 Squadron, a Polish-led unit famed for its ferocity, George flew a Spitfire Mach Y, its Merlin engine a symphony, his cockpit a crucible. In August 1940, at 20, he downed 3 Messerschmitt Bf 109s in a single week, his marksmanship saving his squadron from ambush over Kent, his cool head guiding comrades through flak and flames. Harrow, you're our hawk, keep those wings sharp, his Polish commander, Jan Zumbach, had said, words that anchored George through 30 missions, 12 confirmed kills, and a distinguished flying cross, its ribbon now faded, tucked in a tin box. Shot down in September 1940, he parachuted into a Sussex field, his ankle shattered, his spirit unbroken, returning to fly until war's end. Retiring in 1970 as a flight lieutenant, he settled in Hendon with his wife, Elsie, a WAF radio operator, their cottage a haven of books, model Spitfires, and memories until her passing in 2010. Now alone, George found solace in the RAF Museum, his annual visits a pilgrimage to honor 303 Squadron, his goal unwavering: remember their wings, keep their courage aloft, live with the quiet pride of a survivor. They flew with me, every sortie, he'd murmur, adjusting his service cap, its RAF badge tarnished, his grey eyes tracing the sky, his heart tethered to the summer of 1940, to you, who've carried a legacy of valor, perhaps through a family's wartime tales, a keepsake of bravery, or a vow to honor the past. George's devotion might echo a time when you felt history's lift, when memory fueled your purpose, when you stood to keep courage alive. The RAF Museum on April 1st, 2025 was a vibrant stage for the RAF's centenary. Its hangars transformed into a cathedral of aviation history, celebrating 100 years since the force's founding in 1918. The morning sun cast long shadows from a Spitfire, a Macao, and a Typhoon jet, their wings a timeline of heroism, their cockpits open for visitors to touch history. RAF ensigns fluttered alongside flags of allied nations Poland, Canada, Australia, their colors vivid against a sky streaked with wispy clouds. The forecourt buzzed with thousands airmen in dress blues, their gold braid gleaming, veterans, their chests heavy with medals from Dunkirk to Afghanistan, families, children clutching model hurricanes, and enthusiasts, their cameras snapping, their sketchbooks filled. A brass band played Sweet Caroline, its notes a nod to RAF camaraderie, followed by the RAF March, Holyrood, its rhythm stirring pride. Wreaths of poppies and forget-me-nots lay at a temporary memorial, a granite slab inscribed, "For those who flew." We remember. Its surface dotted with notes, "For Uncle Ted, Duxford, for my dad, Berlin raids." Airmen stood in formation, their boots polished, their salutes crisp, their faces solemn, the air rich with the scent of wax polish and jet fuel, a faint breeze carrying the hum of a distant fly-past rehearsal. George arrived, his shuffle slow, his arthritis flaring in the morning chill, his worn jacket patched, his service cap tilted, its RAF badge dulled, a poppy wreath in his hands, its petals a tribute to 303 Squadron. He moved toward the entrance, his goal to lay the wreath in Hangar 1 beside a Spitfire like his own, to honor his comrades Jan, Stan, Vitek lost to flak or flames, his grey eyes resolute, his cap a banner of his youth. But his faded cap and frail gait drew mocking eyes. Young museum staff at the entrance whispering, their smirks a blemish on the day's reverence, their laughter a shadow on George's steadfast purpose. To you, who've stood in a place of honor perhaps at a museum, an air show, or a ceremony where history saw George's presence, might recall when you felt the past's thrust, when sacrifice was palpable, when you stood to honor those who flew amidst the crowd's shared awe. At the entrance, George presented his veteran pass, a laminated card with his name and service number, his fingers slow, his voice soft over the band's fading march. "For my squadron, 303 lads." The young staff, 3 civilian workers in their 20s, clad in RAF museum polos, stood behind a check-in desk, their clipboards heavy with guest lists, their eyes flicking to George's cap, its badge tarnished, its fabric frayed. Emma Walsh, 24, a part-time guide from Enfield, smirked, her voice sharp. That cap's ancient RAF reject. Is it her colleagues? Tom Bradley, 26 from Croydon, and Sarah Kent, 22 from Barnet, chuckled, Bradley whispering, probably a prop from a costume shop. Kent grinned, mimicking George's shuffle. Bet he's here to spin tales of flying biplanes. Their laughter, though hushed, carried, drawing glances from the crowd. A few veterans frowning, a family nearby shifting, their son clutching a model Spitfire, his mother whispering, "That's not nice, is it?" A veteran in a blazer, his distinguished flying medal pinned, glared, his wife muttering, "Disgraceful." George stood firm, his dignity a fortress, his grey eyes meeting Walsh's, his reply calm but pointed. "It flew with me, lass, in 40. He adjusted his wreath, its poppies brushing his jacket, his hands trembling but steady, his RAF training focus under fire, calm in chaos, holding him fast, his silence a shield against their scorn. The crowd's mood wavered, some veterans muttering, a man in a poppy tie snapping, "Show some respect, for pity's sake." His daughter nodding, their programs clutched tightly. George's resolve was a quiet beacon, his presence a link to 1940s burning skies. His cap a truth the staff couldn't see. Their mockery a test of his lifelong vow to honor his squadron. Their names etched in his soul John's laugh, Stan's nod, Vitek's prayer. To you, who faced ridicule for your truth, perhaps a symbol dismissed as outdated, a story doubted as fable, or a moment when laughter stung George's composure might resonate, recalling when you stood unbowed, when your dignity was your wing, when you pressed on despite scorn's bite. Among the crowd, Cadet Liam Porter, 22, stood near the entrance, his RAF cadet uniform crisp, its blue beret tilted, his dark eyes sharp with the instincts of a young man raised on tales of valor. Liam, a volunteer with the Air Training Corps, was assisting with crowd control, his radio crackling, his notepad filled with tasks. His grandfather, Arthur Porter, a Lancaster tail gunner in 1944, had filled his childhood with stories of the Battle of Britain. Their evenings spent building model Spitfires. Arthur's lesson clear. Liam, every cap, every medal, it's a story. Respect it. Liam had noticed George's approach, his gaze lingering on the cap's RAF badge, its shape familiar from his grandfather's photos, a pilot's mark from the war's darkest days. The staff's laughter grated Walsh's reject jibe, Bradley's prop whisper, Kent's mimicry striking a nerve, Arthur's voice echoing, "Never let a veteran's service be mocked, lad." Liam hesitated, protocol urging caution. He was a cadet, not staff, his role limited to guiding visitors, but George's quiet dignity, his wreath, his cap, stirred him, a clue to a past worth defending, the badge a question demanding an answer. As Kent's mimicry drew another chuckle, Liam acted, his voice low but firm. Addressing Walsh, "That's enough. He's a veteran." He stepped closer, his eyes on George's cap, his mind racing Battle of Britain. 1940. That badge meant pilots, heroes. He pulled his phone. It screened bright in the morning light, and texted his squadron commander. Flight Lieutenant Rachel Evans, 34 at RAF Northolt. His words urgent, ma'am. Veteran at museum entrance, old RF cap, being mocked by staff. Name's George Harrow. Can you check his record, Evans? Overseeing centenary logistics. Paused, her tone sharp. Harrow, you say I'll check. Liam stood by George, his stance protective, his notepad lowered, his presence a quiet shield. The staff's laughter fading, Walsh's smirk faltering, Bradley shuffling, Kent's grin gone, the crowd watching, the band's silence a canvas for the moment's rising tension, the Spitfire's shadow a reminder of why they gathered. To you, who've sensed injustice and acted perhaps defending someone's honor, challenging scorn, or seeking truth amidst doubt, Liam's resolve might mirror a time when you spoke up, when you trusted your instincts, when you stood for respect against the tide of mockery, knowing right from wrong. The truth landed like a thunderbolt, shattering the staff's scorn and rewriting the morning's narrative in an instant. Evans, at her desk in Northolt's operations room, accessed the RAF's veteran archives, her screen illuminating with George's record Harrow. George, pilot officer, 303 Squadron, 1940. Distinguished Flying Cross. 3 Messerschmitt Bf 109s down, Ned. August 1940 saved the squadron in Kent dogfight. Shot down September 1940 survived. The citation, digitized from wartime logs, detailed George's marksmanship, his 3 kills in a week, his leadership saving 303 Squadron from ambush, his parachute descent into a Sussex field, his distinguished flying cross presented by Air Chief Marshal Hugh Dowding. Evan's eyes widened, her coffee forgotten, her voice sharp as she called Liam back. Urgency cutting through the static cadet. Harrow's a Battle of Britain hero. He downed 3 109s, saved his squadron, flew with the Poles. That caps the real deal, get him to the wreath laying. Full honors. Now. Liam's breath caught, his phone lowered, his dark eyes locking on George, who sat on a nearby bench, his wreath in his lap, his grey eyes calm, unaware of the call's seismic impact. He approached the staff, his voice low but cutting, his cadet status no barrier. You mocked a Battle of Britain pilot. George Harrow downed 3 Messerschmitts in 1940, saved his squadron. Stand proper now. Walsh, Bradley, and Kent froze, their smirks vanishing, their clipboards lowered, their faces flushed with shame. Walsh's eyes darting to the ground, Bradley swallowing hard, Kent's hands trembling. The crowd murmured, a veteran in a blazer, his DFM pinned, whispering to his son, 3 kills. That's a proper ace, a tourist, filming. Caught Liam's words, the staff's silence, George's quiet dignity on the bench. The clip spreading on X within minutes, titled RAF Hero Honored at Centenary and shared thousands of times. Its caption, Bold Staff, mocked his cap. RAF set them straight. Liam turned to George, his voice softening, his posture respectful, Mr. Harrow. RAF Command confirms your service. You're a hero, sir. Please, come with us to lay your wreath. George rose, his shuffle steady, his wreath held high, his grey eyes meeting Liam's, a faint nod his thanks, his silence a testament to a heroism that needed no fanfare, his cap adjusted, his jacket proud in the sunlight. To you, who've seen a revelation shift a moment, perhaps a truth that silenced critics, a hero's past unveiled, or a moment when honor prevailed. Liam's call might recall a time when you witnessed justice done, when a story was set right, when respect replaced ridicule in a heartbeat. The centenary celebration transformed into a tribute to George's valor. His escort to Hangar 1, a moment of profound reverence that rippled through the museum. An honor guard of 4 airmen senior answer from RAF Northolt. Their dress blues immaculate flanked George, their salutes crisp, their boots echoing on the tarmac, their RAF ensign patches bright, the crowd parting, their murmurs turning to cheers, cameras flashing, phones raised. The sun broke through, casting the Spitfire's wings in sharp relief, the band striking up Per Ardua ad Astra, the RAF's motto in song, its notes a soar of pride that lifted every heart. George entered Hangar 1, his shuffle slow but resolute, his wreath clutched tightly, its poppies vivid against his worn jacket. Liam at his side, his cadet beret tilted, his dark eyes warm with respect. Beside a Spitfire, Mach I, its green and brown camouflage gleaming. A plaque read, To the Few, 1940. George laid his wreath, its placement deliberate, his hands trembling as he smoothed the petals, his voice breaking in a whisper, For my squadron. Jan, Stan, Vitek, all of you. His grey eyes glistened, tears tracing his weathered cheeks, his cap tilted back, his jacket's RAF badge catching the light. its tarnish a map of sacrifice. The crowd, now thousands, erupted in applause, a thunderous wave that echoed through the hangar. Veterans standing, their medals glinting, their salutes slow but proud. A woman in a poppy scarf sobbing, her husband's arm around her. Tourists lowering phones to clap, their faces awed. A child waving a model Spitfire, his father whispering, "That's a real pilot, son." Air Vice Marshal Sarah Cole, the centenary's officiant, stepped forward, her dress blues gleaming, her voice clear over the band's fading notes. Today, we honor George Harrow, Distinguished Flying Cross recipient, a hero of 1940 who downed 3 enemy aircraft and reminds us why we fly to defend freedom. Her salute, mirrored by airmen, cadets, and veterans, was a wave across the hangar, George nodding, his cap in hand, his heart full, his jacket loose in the warm air. To you, who've seen a hero celebrated, perhaps a veteran saluted, a wrong made right, or a moment when courage soared, George's wreath-laying might mirror a time when you witnessed valor lifted high, when respect drowned out scorn, when a quiet man became a legend in a single, sacred act. The moment's impact didn't fade. It soared, a spark that ignited London and rippled globally, carried by voices, screens, and hearts. A display was proposed by Cole, backed by the crowd's roar and the RAF Museum's trustees' Harrow Wing. Its design, a glass case with a replica Spitfire cockpit, George's cap, and a bronze plaque inscribed, "For George Harrow, Hero of 303 Squadron, RAF Centenary 2025, whose wings live in memory." The announcement, made as the crowd lingered, drew cheers, veterans raising poppies, families clapping, enthusiasts sketching the design, the plan trending on X and the night harrowing, posts flooding George's display. Is our pride harrowing forever? The viral clip, Liam's reprimand, the staff's silence, George's wreath-laying. Cole's speech spread globally, titled RAF Hero Honored at Centenary, and shared millions of times. Hashtags, Legacy Unveiled, RAF 100, Salute, Harrow lighting up feeds from London's tube stations to Warsaw's cafes, from Canberra's schools to Chicago's offices. Comments poured in, a digital chorus of awe. George is the few 3 kills. Liam's respect is RAF heart shame. On that staff, a veteran, Mr. Stanislaw Nowak, 80, a Polish pilot's son, spoke to Sky News at the museum, his voice thick. "Harrow flew with my dad in 303. He saved them all." His words, clipped into a viral post, trended under the Harrow's Heroes, shared by air forces, schools, and families, silencing any lingering whispers of the staff's shame. Walsh, Bradley, and Kent, reprimanded and retrained, wrote apologies, delivered to George by Liam, their handwriting neat. "Mr. Harrow, we're sorry. Your courage humbles us." George read them, his grey eyes softening, his reply simple, sent via his daughter, Helen. "No grudge. Youngsters learn and fly high." The exchange, shared on, trended under Harrow, forgives, posts praising. That's a pilot's heart. George's grace is everything to you, who've seen a moment, redefine respect, perhaps a humble act that shifted perceptions, a hero story that united, or a wrong righted by truth. George's honor might recall a time when you saw courage celebrated, when respect rose above scorn, when a single act rewrote a community's soul. The legacy took root swiftly, George's story, a beacon that illuminated London's pride and inspired a broader awakening. Schools across the UK adopted his tale. Teachers in Camden, Kent, and Yorkshire crafting lessons titled Battle of Britain Heroes. Their classrooms alive with stories of George's 3 kills. His Spitfires roar. His distinguished flying crosses shine. Students, from primary to A-level, drew Spitfires. Their sketchbooks filled with quotes from RAF archives. Their questions eager. How did he aim? What was 303 like? Assemblies featured his story. A Hendon school projecting the X clip. Liam's voice echoing. He downed 3 Messerschmitts. Kids crafted poppy wreath, their paper petals pinned to boards, their chants of Harrow, Harrow ringing in halls. Veterans, inspired by George's moment, shared their stories at the RAF Museum's Education Center, their voices strong at community talks, their medals displayed, their wreaths placed with new pride, crowds listening, their questions heartfelt. Did you know Harrow? What was a Spitfire like a campaign? Wings of Valor, launched in partnership with the RAF, the Imperial War Museum, and the Air Cadet Organization. Its mission to teach airmen stories, to ensure no cap was mocked, no hero overlooked. Its posters, a Spitfire and a faded cap, captioned, "Every airman has a story," appeared in schools, airfields, museums, and community centers, translated into Polish, Hindi, Arabic, and French for global reach. Their message clear: see the service, not the wear. Murals sprang up, each a tribute to George's valor in Duxford, his silhouette against a dogfight sky, captioned courage in Warsaw, a Spitfire and a Polish eagle, honor in Canberra, valor with wings in Toronto, bravery with a maple leaf, ex-posts multiplied, a global tapestry of respect, taught my class about Harrow's kills. A London teacher wrote, attaching a photo of student drawings, started an Air Cadet Club, inspired by George. A Manchester youth leader posted, sharing a wreath, saluted a veteran today, thinking of Liam. A Sydney pilot shared, pinning a digital poppy. The campaign's reach was profound. Schools reported students more engaged with aviation history. Veterans groups saw younger volunteers. Communities hosted Wings Days with talks, flypasts, and silence, their posters echoing George's cap, Liam's stand, Cole's salute, Walsh's lesson, Bradley's shame, Kent's silence. To you, who've seen a story spark a movement, perhaps a tale that changed hearts, a hero's legacy that grew, or a moment that united generations, George's impact might mirror a time when you saw honor ignite change, when respect became a shared vow, when a quiet act reshaped how the world remembered. George's life, post-ceremony, became a quiet celebration of his legacy. His Hendon cottage a haven of memory and gratitude. His kitchen table overflowed with letters from cadets, their words in ink and marker. Dear Mr. Harrow, you're our hero. Thank you for 3 kills. I want to fly like you. He read each one, his gray eyes misty, his fingers tracing their drawings of Spitfires, medals, and poppies. His heart warmed by their sincerity. His service cap, once tucked away, now rested on a shelf, its RAF badge polished, its fabric a map of sacrifice, displayed beside a photo of Elsie, her smile eternal, and a new frame, Liam's note, delivered post-ceremony, its words handwritten Mr. Harrow. Your courage inspires us all. Thank you for your wings. George visited the RAF Museum monthly, his shuffle steadier with a new walking stick. a gift from the museum staff, its handle carved with a Spitfire, its wood gleaming. Airmen greeted him, their salutes sharp, their voices warm. Mr. Harrow, sir, welcome back, visitors. Recognizing him from X, asked for photos. Their respect clear. You're the Spitfire ace, aren't you? He'd nod. His cap tilted, his reply soft. Just a pilot, doing my bit. Liam, now a leading cadet, shared George's story in squadron meetings at his ATC unit. His voice firm, his slides showing the cap, the wreath, the dogfights. See the cap, not the wear. Every veteran's a story. Cadets listened, their salutes sharper, their halls buzzing with his name. Harrow's a legend, proper ace. Walsh, Bradley, and Kent, reassigned to training, carried George's lesson. Their apologies pinned in their lockers, their service now marked by respect, their mates joking. Don't mock a cap, mates might be a Harrow. To you, who've carried a legacy forward, perhaps mentoring with a story, honoring a hero's truth, or seeing your actions live in others. George's quiet pride might recall a time when you kept memory aloft, when your respect inspired, when your stand shaped a future. The Wings of Valor campaign grew, its impact a testament to George's story, its reach touching schools, airfields, and communities worldwide. London's primary schools launched Harrow Days, kids wearing poppy pins, their classrooms filled with models of Spitfires, their teachers reading RAF citations, their cheers for George echoing. Secondary students in Kent and Yorkshire wrote essays, their titles bold. Why Harrow's Kills Matter, the Distinguished Flying Crosses Truth. Their words shared on School X accounts, trending under Wings of Valor. Universities in Cambridge and Edinburgh hosted veteran panels. George's story a centerpiece. Their audiences students, lecturers, retirees asking how do we honor like Liam airfields. From Duxford to Leuchars, adopted Harrow drills, training airmen to recognize badges, to ask veteran stories, to salute service. Their manuals updated with George's citation, his photo a staple. The Air Cadet organization saw a surge in recruits, their training citing George, their funds rising, their voices clear. Every pilot's a Harrow. Listen to them. Communities beyond the UK joined schools in Warsaw, taught George's 303 Squadron. Their Polish posters, bold honor. Communities in Canberra hosted Poppy Days. Their English captions, clear valor. Libraries in Toronto displayed Wings of Valor posters. Their French translations, vivid courage. Murals, multiplied in Duxford. George's silhouette against a dogfight sky. Courage. In Cardiff, a Spitfire and a dragon. Kofio in Delhi. Shaurya with stars in Auckland. Toe with wings. Ex-post swelled. A global chorus. Shared Harrow's story with my cadets. A Polish air officer wrote, made a poppy wreath for George. A Chicago student posted, stood silent for pilots. Inspired by Liam. A Dublin teacher shared, attaching a candle photo. The campaign's legacy was tangible. Veterans reported feeling seen. Schools saw aviation engagement soar. Communities bridged generations with poppy ceremonies, their posters echoing George's cap, Liam's call, Cole's salute, Walsh's lesson, Bradley's shame, Kent's silence. To you, who've seen a movement unite, perhaps a cause that bonded strangers, a story that inspired action, or a moment that lived beyond its day, George's legacy might mirror a time when you felt history's lift, when respect wove a tapestry, when a quiet act became a global vow. The Harrow Wing display, approved for unveiling in April 2026, was planned as a centerpiece of the RAF Museum's spring program. Its ceremony set to draw thousands veterans, airmen, Liam, Helen, Cole, and local leaders. Their poppies raised, their salutes a wave, the museum alive with pride. The design, finalized by a Duxford artist, featured a glass case with a replica Spitfire cockpit, George's cap, and a bronze plaque inscribed for George Harrow, Hero of 303 Squadron, RAF, Centenary, 2025, whose wings live in memory. A model of the display, showcased in Hangar 1 drew crowds, their fingers tracing its lines, their whispers reverent. That's for Harrow, the ace. London's mayor hosted a fundraising gala for the display. George, the guest of honor, his distinguished flying cross gleaming under lights. His speech brief but piercing. For my squadron, Jan, Stan, Witek, always. The room, 300 strong, stood, their applause a roar, their glasses raised, X capturing it under Herta Harrow, honored, pose reading. George's words broke my heart. London's proud. The BBC aired a documentary, Harrow's Wings, a Legacy Unveiled. Its footage weaving George's 1940 dogfights, Liam's call, the wreath laying, Walsh's apology, Bradley's silence, Cole's salute, Helen's pride, its viewership soaring to millions. Its message, unequivocal honor lives in silence, courage in humility. George, at home, framed Liam's note beside Elsie's photo, his service cap displayed, its tarnish a story, his cottage a shrine to memory. Helen visited weekly, their teas filled with stories, 303's banter, Elsie's laugh, the son of 2025, her pride clear, you're my hero, Dad, always were Liam. At his ATC unit, mentored cadet, his office displaying a poppy wreath, his lesson shaped by George respect starts with seeing, to you, who've honored a hero's truth perhaps with a salute to a veteran, a stand for memory, or a moment that valued sacrifice. George and Liam's story is a call to stand with respect, to keep valor aloft, to remember the silent with love. George's monthly visits to the RAF Museum became a ritual of reverence. His walking stick steady, his cap tilted, his jacket bright, airmen greeting him with salute, their voices warm. Mr. Harrow, sir, good to see you visitors. Recognizing him from shared selfies, their captions glowing. Met the Spitfire ace children on school trips, waved. Their teachers pointing, that's George Harrow, down to 309s. The museum staff gifted him a lifetime pass. Its card embossed with a Spitfire, their director saying, you're our heart. Mr. Harrow. He'd smile, his gray eyes crinkling, his reply soft, just a pilot, doing my bit. The campaign spread globally. Schools in Warsaw taught George's 303 their Polish posters, bold honor. Communities in Canberra hosted Poppy Days, their English captions clear valor. Murals in Delhi, Shaurya with stars, drew crowds. Airfields worldwide adopted Wings of Valor. Their drills citing Harrow, their airmen saluting veterans, their expos vibrant, honored a pilot. Harrow style. A London schoolgirl, inspired, started a Poppy Pilots Club. Kids writing to veterans, their letters reaching George. His replies neat. Keep their wings alive, little one. The displays unveiling, planned for 2026, was set to stream live. X buzzing with anticipation, are harrowing, live. George, at home. Read a letter from a Polish child, Mr. Harrow. You flew with my great-granddad, how he smiled. His pen moving for my mates. you find the sky for you. Who've carried a story's weight, perhaps a moment that changed your path, a lesson that lived in your actions, or a truth that shaped your world. This tale of George, Liam, Cole, Walsh, Bradley, Kent. And a wing is a call to salute with respect, to keep memory soaring, to honor the silent with love. Share your story. Have you saluted a veteran, righted a wrong, stood for valor? Subscribe for more tales of heart and courage. And join us in raising awareness. Stand with honor. Live with respect. Love with memory. Click the bell. Share with someone who cherishes heroes. And let's salute the cap that flies, the truth that restores, the legacy that endures, in a pilot, a cadet, and a wing that honors forever.